everybody, it is Sam Williams and Josh Hawthorn here with WeCrash Podcast, episode number 16. Joshua, dude, birthday week, man. Happy freaking birthday.
It's something. Getting old.
It is something. Turn 29 all over again.
Feel that way nowadays.
Absolutely, man. So you've been a guest on the show once. Now we got you, as Dustin said he had to go to Florida or some crazy shit like that. So he said, "Hey, man, I'm out." I said, "I'm grabbing my boy Josh Hawthorn, and we're gonna do an episode of WeCrash." So, what do you think, man? How's the drive going? You're out in Utah, Seattle. Where the hell have you been this week?
Pacific Northwest. Let's call it that. Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Utah. I was real close to the California border. I'm just playing, having fun.
Just moving.
Trying to make a living.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Trying to make a living.
So, for those of you that don't know Josh, we have Josh do, well, he's kind of my right-hand guy on a lot of different things. We have Josh kind of do everything. He kind of picks up everything that Sam is not talented enough to do. But so Josh he handles our whole dirt crew. He handles all of our excavating crew. He handles sponsorships. He handles vendors. He hauls all of our shit to the Derby, cleans the porta potties. I don't know what else do you do, bud?
Mops the floor.
Mop the floor. You will be mopping the floor in Madison when we get done making a mess in Pavilion number 2. Got you steam cleaner, just so you know.
Get verbally abused every time I do something wrong.
Chris, we're gonna have to talk to Chris about that later in the show. Yeah, for sure. Have to tell him to lighten up a little bit on you. For those of you that don't get to work with me, I'm a little bit intense. So Josh gets all of my intensity, probably more than even the kids do anymore, because Josh handles so much of the stuff that makes or breaks the event. And so when I get to yelling, a lot of times it's in Joshua's way. So Josh, talk to us a little bit about Madison. We've been there once to sell sponsorships. Dude, it is tough on the first year.
Tough, really tough. It's just, we've got a very, very good group that is kind of on the line per se. We'll see how it goes. I got meetings on Thursday again, so I'll actually be in Madison on Thursday morning to try and finish some of them details up. It's just a lot of people don't know what they don't know yet about us, man. They're gonna get it figured out. They're gonna see it. They're gonna be blown away by it, and then obviously second year will probably be a little bit easier. But I mean, everybody's stoked about it. They're all cool. They're all thinking, oh, "Man, this is gonna be awesome. We got to go to this." But they just want to make sure it's something they want to play a part with before they want to see it in action before they decide to play a part in it.
Yep, absolutely. It makes sense. You know, we had the CVB reach out to us this week and said, "Hey, we're going to get airport graphics up for you. We've never had anybody really step up and say, "Hey, we're going to handle all this." Rapid City's awesome, right? CVB rolls out the red carpet, puts banners across the street, but that's a small town. It's a lot different when you're in a big fish in a small town. Now we're a medium fish in a really big college town. It's a little bit different.
And not to mention, heck, that's Madison's 250,000, 300,000 people, something like that. Rapid maybe 50.
Yeah, 60, high 60s, but still, yeah, it's a big difference for sure.
Yeah.
And there's so many when you're dealing with a college, there could be a college basketball game that weekend. There could be all kinds of different things. There's a whole other arena, 3 minutes away, 4 minutes away?
Yeah.
So a TV station.
I'm excited.
And they wanted to do some TV stuff with us. So, man, I'm telling you what, whatever you're doing up there, you're getting the word out because you've been the only one that's pounding the pavement up there.
I'm excited. If I get some of the things that I'm working on done, we're going to have, just drivers are going to have some cool places to go check out, along with, some discounts when they show up there. Some cool things. I don't want to allude to it too much just because I don't want to jinx it. It's,
yeah.
But if we get it done, it'll be amazing. It'll be cool. Hell, I might stay a day and just go play there myself. You never know.
So let's talk about vendors. We got vendors are starting to come out of the woodwork a little bit. So some vendors we've never dealt with. Our top 5, 6 are always there.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to forget one, but it's Chambliss, NLR, Sky High,
Gray
area boys. I mean, they are at every event for the most part. So Mopars at most of our events are still deciding on Madison, but
Outlaw.
American Outlaw. I mean, awesome. Nate over there is awesome.
Yep.
So, I mean, you take Derby tees, obviously, at our events. Getting to come out of the woodwork a little bit for Madison. That's kind of what we're looking for Madison. Gold Rush is kind of this exclusive. Want a few, want to keep it, pretty exclusive. But Madison, we've kind of thrown out a wider net. Talk to us a little bit about the vendors and some of the excitement you've seen there.
There's a lot of them that are. I keep hearing you guys are taking a Derby back to where it's just the center of it. I keep hearing a lot of that Illinois. It's Madison's a little far or a little bit north of like Illinois, but even the boys from Illinois are telling me, this is where it should be. This is going to be awesome. Can't wait. The whole thing. A lot of people that I didn't expect getting calls back from. Then there's a few that are fairly large names, and we'll probably see them, and hopefully we'll see them at Gold Rush too. And so that'll be, people that don't travel a whole lot. And so that was I didn't expect those, and we'll see what happens with them. But, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to jinx nothing, but I think it'll be awesome. It'll be really awesome.
And now when they come to Gold Rush, do they understand that they get to just hang out with you and drink all the alcohol they want and sit up in a really cool exclusive area and Josh just hangs up there for the whole show?
Yeah.
I'm going to trade you jobs during the event. I'm going to go up and drink with everybody on the third and fourth level, and you can go down and get your ass chewed by the drivers.
Right. I don't care. I think I'd rather get my ass chewed by the drivers than get yelled at by you or chewed by you. That's at least I can walk away from them.
The first time we're at Gold Rush, right? You take on a brand new responsibility. You're up hanging with everybody. You come down with a glass of what I swear has got full of vodka in it. I look at Josh and I went, dude, you're still on the clock. And he's like, it's Sprite, I promise. I'm like, yeah, it is. I didn't do the smell test, but I'm telling you, folks, I don't think it was Sprite in that glass.
They didn't have any peach crown, so it was Sprite.
It was Sprite. That's awesome. Well, Josh, we're going to play a quick Madison commercial here that Nicole put together. We're playing all over Madison right now, and we'll be back in a little bit here in just a few seconds, and we'll talk more about the vendors.
Awesome.
Get ready, Wisconsin. The most thrilling demolition derby event is coming to the Alliant Energy Center. It's Badger State Nationals, brought to you by Ultimate Derby, March 19th through the 22nd in Madison, Wisconsin. Watch as the toughest drivers go head-to-head in an epic battle of destruction. Over 350 drivers and over $250,000 in prize money. Who will be the last car standing? Join us and find out. Tickets are now on sale at www.ultimatederby.com/tickets. Bring your friends, bring your family, and experience excitement live.
You got to admit, that's a pretty good voiceover on there.
I should have done it.
Nicole texts me. She's like, Dad, I need to do a voiceover, but it's going to cost us X amount of dollars. And I said, send me the script. I'll do this myself. Then I hear myself talk. I'm like, man, I should have just paid for it. But
maybe that's what you should have done. And maybe that was your calling instead of corporate fencing world.
Yeah, the corporate fencing world. And I tell you what, I give my corporate fencing people a hard time. I'm like, hey, we got to get off the call because I got to go do my real job. I got a podcast here coming up. I got to go. This is definitely my passion. So last week we had Mark Elliott on. So we got to talk to Mark Elliott a little bit. Dude, I am so glad he's not retiring.
I kind of had this thing where I wondered how long he could stay out of it, It's one of those things that, you never actually get out.
Right.
You got to be in it some way, somehow, something. I mean, I've sold out 3 times.
And then it costs you twice as much to buy back in.
Yeah. I mean, But I just, yeah, I'm glad he's back because I mean, what he does, I'm fortunate we found him because I wouldn't add that to my list of shit to do or stuff to do.
Ooh, me neither. Me neither. It was funny. I went to Ottawa one time and they're like, "Hey man, we don't have an announcer. You were supposed to bring that with you." And I'm like, you know what? I guess I'm announcing tonight. I did not like any part of that. I mean, no part of it at all. And I love to talk. And it was not my forte at all.
I think once I got past the butterflies of it, I think I'd be good and I think I'd be okay at it. Getting past the butterflies has got to be the hardest part because if you fail out of the get-go right away, it'd be tough coming back for round two or heat two or even night two. If you just eat it right out of the get-go, that'd be tough.
So I do a bunch of association work, right? Last year, my only job is all I have to do is the Pledge of Allegiance. How hard can it be? I don't need to read it. I got it. Guess who screwed up the Pledge of Allegiance in front of a whole room of people? And I'm like, I'm done. I quit. I'm out. I'm going to go sit down now. You can all just keep going on with your little presentation. I'm out. Yeah, I screwed up the Pledge of Allegiance in front of a whole room full of, I don't know, 300 of my peers in the fence world. It was bad, dude. It was bad. I felt so dumb.
Yeah, I you know, it was like Gold Rush this year when we were talking about how are we going to auction this stuff off, and I'm like, well, we'll try it. And I'm just the whole time I said, why did I open my mouth? What are we doing here? I don't know nothing about being an auctioneer.
JJ's like, you all suck. Let me just do this. Okay, JJ, here's the mic. Good luck, buddy. Hey, I got JJ to come. He's coming back to Rapid. I signed all his contract stuff. He's good to go. We're rocking. And he goes, "Hey man, I'm coming back. But you cool if I bring my own DJ? I mean, are you cool with that? Because we really don't need all the F words and all that kind of stuff dropped at a family event." I'm like, JJ, I'm really good with that. I'm really good with that. So I got to talk to his DJ today. He is Will. Will is his name, and we're working out all the details. And I think he's going to be awesome. In fact, don't tell anybody. I'm twisting his arm a little bit to come to Madison. I'm not sure I'm going to get it done or not, but he's going to let me know tomorrow. So we'll see.
I tell you, the one of the funnest time, or one of the funniest things I've seen in this whole doing this with you over the last how many years or whatever, is when we said we were going to be auctioneers, and I looked right at you and I said, "You're going with me," and you no, and I said, "You either go out there with me, or I'm getting my pickup and I'm leaving the minute I walk off that dirt." So I'm pretty sure you were planning on stranding me, so I'm glad that he took over.
I was definitely going to strand you and be like, "Josh, have a safe trip home, bud. Have a safe trip home." Man, I was not wanting any part of that auction. You know, Nicole gave us warning too. She said, "Hey, we're going to auction off stuff every night." We blew it off the first 2 nights and we did good. We're like, "Nicole, you don't have enough stuff here. We can't auction this stuff off. There's not enough stuff. You're just going to have to wait till later in the week." Man, by Thursday, that girl was hunting stuff. Pretty soon we have stuff coming from every vendor's like, "Hey, we're going to kick this." Our kicks in a full cradle. And I'm like, holy crap. Now it's time to go.
Yeah, that was the funny part was JJ. He didn't know none of those terms. And he's like, "Is this really what this called?" "Yeah, bud. Yeah, that's what it's called." Yeah, he was so much fun to be around. That was such a good show. God, it was a good show.
It was a good time. It was fun, and JJ added so much to it. It was just a good time, and I tell you what, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So vendors and sponsors, if somebody wants to sponsor, what's the best way to do it? I mean, we have different packages. So like if somebody wanted to come in and said, "Hey, I want my own sweet box. I want to have a dedicated sweet box for the whole week. I want to have a private buffet. Can we make it happen?"
I would say yes, 100%. You tell me what your budget is, and we'll work around it. Or I'll just show you all the list, and we'll just start adding numbers up. No.
So you know what? So a platinum sponsor, we're going to give them a full suite, private buffet, the whole stinking works, and I'm telling you, I think it's going to be awesome. The nice thing is about our vendors is we got what, four sweet boxes for our vendors, our big vendors. Tell me, 3 or 4.
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
So every night we're going to draw for which vendor gets into the sweet boxes. And the cool thing is you're going to get 12 of your friends in there. Still got to buy a GA ticket, but who cares? But you get 12 of your friends in the sweet box, up to 12. However many you want, you can do it with 4 of you if you want to. I don't care. And each vendor will get a sweet box. Bring your banners with you because we will hang that on the front of the sweet box. And so then everybody knows that whoever is in the sweet box that night, whether it's NLR, Gray Area, American Outlaw, Chambliss, whoever it is, Derby Tees, whoever's in the sweet box that night, everybody will know what sweet box are on. American Outlaw, I said them first.
Oh, did you?
So if anybody, I messed up first. I got them this time first. Don't you worry. So if anybody wants to throw oranges at the sweet box, they know where to throw it at. I mean, it's right there. They know which one it is. Everybody's in. So it'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to Madison, but Madison's going to be kind of that just down and dirty indoor demolition derby that is going to be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be good.
It's a little more towards its roots. There's not as many frills and bells and whistles, but it's a little more towards its roots, and that's kind of cool about it. And of course, there is the bells and whistles too with the sweet boxes and all of that. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I really am. I'm very excited to be there. Hell, I don't know what day we're planning on being there, but I'm ready.
Well, it's a little bit different of an event. We can't bring the dirt in until Tuesday morning. Mm-hmm. Does that bring you any nervousness at all? Obviously we got Krista Florian, so that always makes you feel a little bit better. I mean, best guy in the dirt business, right? I mean, he is phenomenal. Just nailed Florida out of the park. I mean, in my opinion, to take sand and turn it into clay is, I don't know, I'm not going to say he turned water into wine, but
witchcraft.
I mean, not far off. But I mean, does the dirt bother you at all? We've only got 36 hours to lay dirt in blocks.
It doesn't bother me. I think it's one of those things that after doing this with you for how long I get stressed about the other stuff. That stuff always seems we stress about it, and then it seems to go in pretty well and pretty efficiently. I guess I'm more worried about the million other things that I have to keep in top of my head before that, I guess, because the dirt's going to be what the dirt is, and we'll have to do what we can and make it work, and obviously get it hard and all the whole deal there. But I'm more stressed about the other things,
Yeah, I agree with you. So when we come in Tuesday, a little behind the scenes action, what we have to pull off, we got to build a wind tunnel. Mm-hmm. We're putting in our own ventilation system. Ordered you 12 fans today, by the way. We got to put the dirt in. Got to hang the banners. All before Wednesday night.
And then go pick up a bunch of equipment 30 miles away and unload all that, get tech ready, get all that ready before we even start on dirt.
Dude, we got this. Blocks are showing up.
Exactly.
7:00 Tuesday morning. We'll be ready to roll.
We got Bobby Mears, and Bobby Mears is like, if there's one guy that can get it done, it's between dirt with Krista Florian and the rest of that, it's Bobby Mears. And we got
it's funny. Chris gets dirt. We just give everything else to Bobby. Here you go, Bobby. Here, make it happen.
Yep. I'm going to sit in a lawn chair and just order Bobby around. Not
That's
really.
Awesome.
No, Bobby's awesome. He'll it'll go easy. It really will. It'll go, build a tunnel. I mean, we've never built tunnels before, but I'm sure we can figure it out.
You know what? I had the traction guys there to give us a little bit of advice. They kind of helped us through that a little bit. I think we got a good plan for it. We are going to be able to, it's never had a north-south ventilation system before. I'm not 100% confident in it, but I think we're going to be so stinking close that I really think we'll have a 30-degree temperature change between the track and the third row of stands. I really think we're going to, having that north-south and just be able to move that crap right across the track, I think is going to be pretty awesome. But it's going to be a Wheelman qualifier.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Wheelman this year?
There's some stud names already in it.
Florida did not disappoint.
No, it didn't. Now we just got
to get them all to South Dakota. I don't know what bank we're gonna have to rob to get them all there from. I'm talking to Brandon Myers, who built Levi's car, to come all the way from Southern Florida he's already talking to Brandon about, hey, how do I get a car out there to Rapid City? And I'm telling you, it's gonna be pretty awesome, I think.
Well, I actually I used to play in his waffles a little bit, so I might reach out to him because heck, he's not very far from where I load out of Indiana all the time. So hey, maybe we can just haul a car out there for him, and he can just drive out in his pickup or fly out.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Hey, if you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, maybe we can get Joey's on trailer too and get it out here.
Exactly. Get it to Indiana for me, Joey, and we'll just take that. We'll just load them all up.
With Psyopa's money, just put it on Josh.
Put on the tab.
Just let it roll.
You'll get a bill in the mail.
That's awesome. All right, man. We are going to throw up a Wheelman. This was the Wheelman video that we ran before the Wheelman ran this last year in Gold Rush. So I'm going to show that video quick, and we'll get Chris on here. I think he's going to have a little bit of a video issue, but we won't get to see his pretty face, but we will get to talk to him. So we're going to get back with Wheelman here in just 2 minutes. We'll be right back. Oh, we got Christopher on here.
Youngster.
So Chris is joining us from Valentine, Nebraska. What do you think, big guy?
What's going on?
So you don't like my new studio because you're tired of your camera that you said you've tried everything to get it to work.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes I've tried to clear every app. It says I'm using another camera, bad Wi-Fi. I'm sitting next to the router. So I don't know what's going on here, but
maybe it's a satellite problem, Chris. Get on top of your camper and try that.
Yeah, that's probably where I should start.
This is when you find out, Chris, you got a spy camera somebody else has put on your phone, and now you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Wheelman. So this episode, we want to talk a lot about what the Wheelman is, where it came from. So I want to get a little bit of history on the Wheelman, Chris. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the 2025 format, assuming, I can't say this enough tonight, assuming everything goes great at Madison, what events are involved, and what the possible payout may be at Gold Rush this year. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the Wheelman and how this kind of came about, because I get a lot of credit for different things at Ultimate Derby, but I had zero to do with this. So talk a little bit about the history of the Wheelman.
Yeah, so it's as a Derby driver, it came more of as a driver aspect than it did a promoter. And it was just like growing up, like Metal Mayhem, and like when I was growing up, Metal Mayhem was like the show where like all the big name guys went. And it kind of felt like we were losing like that big show just because all these big shows were getting created. And it was like, God, I would love to go try to qualify through some show and like then have a national champion, have a true national champion in the sport of demolition derby, where you have every driver from the West Coast to the East Coast, and they all meet up in one central location and derby it out on one of the biggest stages there is. And that was kind of the thought about it. And then I had to kind of look on the promoting side, and man, I thought the biggest factor was getting a bunch of promoters on the same page and doing something cool together. And man, that was probably the easiest part. Little hiccups here and there, but for the most part, everybody's been great. I would love to take all the credit, but there's been several promoters who have been involved in this who have came up with great ideas and great aspects to make this Wheelman better. But overall, it's just trying to find a national champion, and bringing the best guys to one spot and letting them duke it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been through 2 different years now of Wheelman. What have you learned different than what you thought it was going to be? So anything that you've seen that you went, man, I didn't see that one coming, or that went really better than I thought it was going to go. I mean, you've tried to have different techs under the ramp, different promoters on the berm. You've tried different things. What have you seen as some of the successes and really some of the failures of the Wheelman?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of success behind it. I think the concept was proven out of year one that it was a hit. I mean, you had people coming all the way from New York, um, and Utah, completely different spectrums, build wise, culture wise, everything wise, and they came up and met at Rapid City, and tried to run for that $20,000. I think that is a huge hit. I think our biggest surprise, I wouldn't even call it a failure, but biggest surprise to me was bringing all these drivers out of different locations. Is when you get them to one spot, you can never like end politics. Like, I figured a lot of the times the four guys coming out of each region, you would say, or each show would stick together more and have like a more of a unified thing, but it's turning into like almost a 50-50 thing where you're either a part of the a part of a clique or you're not. And if you're not, it has not worked out well. Um, and this year, we're trying a different format, and I'm hoping that gets rid of it a little bit. I think now in today's age with social media, everybody can stay in contact. You'll never get rid of the politics. There's just no way around it. And if there is, somebody please enlighten me, to help make it better. But I'm hoping our new format this way kind of gets it. I don't know what the right word is, but gets rid of the major cliques, hopefully a little bit, and everyone kind of has to run their own race.
Okay, so let's talk format for a couple minutes. So we're trying a new format of Madison. You got to win. You got to get in the top 4, maybe even 5, depending on how many cars show up. But let's say top 4 at Madison in the first round. So we're going to call that Heat 1. Then you got to get top 4 of the semifinals to get into the feature of 20 cars. So we're going to go down from 120, 130 cars down to 20 in the feature. How does Wheelman play into that format if we're going to take a similar format, assuming this is successful and we don't need to make any changes? What would you see as a possible format for Gold Rush? Because, I mean, I am getting blown up all the time now. What is Gold Rush? What is the format? So let's just assume Madison goes great. How would you see the Wheelman playing into that format?
Yeah, like right now, if Madison goes as planned, and as I think it will in my head, um, what Gold Rush is going to look like is we are going to tie the Wheelman in to that same format. Um, and it kind of gives everybody a chance. But if you qualify, you have a way better chance, than everybody else. So pretty much it would still be just like Madison. The general public would be allowed to sign up. Um, they would all sign up. But the cool thing about if you qualify through a Wheelman, you get to skip the very first round and you're automatically in the semis, and you'll get fresh plates. I haven't decided exactly on how many fresh plates, but you'll have fresh plates and a fresh car going against pre-runs that just ran the night before and had to fix their cars all day. So you get the advantage in your car, you get the advantage mentally, physically, since you didn't have to run the night before, work on your car all the next day. So you get a lot of advantages there, and kind of the hopes there is it splits everybody up. Yes, there's still going to be clicks, but you kind of have to earn it a little more. It's no different than like a March Madness bracket. Your top dogs obviously have the easier path. Your one seeds, you have the easier path. It's the same aspect. The guys who put in the work in the summer and qualified, they're going to have the easiest path. Um, but now we've seen Cinderella stories in March Madness, and you could easily see one at Gold Rush where somebody sneaks in and ends up winning it out of the first round. But hopefully it breaks it up a little more.
So how do you ensure that, let's say you have heats of 10 in the semifinals. That's just an arbitrary number, definitely not guaranteeing that. But let's just say we have heats of 10 and you're going to take 3 or 4. Let's say we're going to take 3, just for argument's sake. Heats of 10, we're going to take 3 out of the semifinals. How can you be sure that you're not going to get 10 Wheelman all draw the same heat?
So if we're looking at, I believe there's 47 Wheelman qualifiers out there. Not everybody's going to show up. Let's say 40 of them do show up. 40 of them show up, and there's 60 cars that made it through the first night. So now you're down to the 100. Your 100 number, 10 heats, taking 3. What we'll do is we will first evenly take the Wheelman guys, and there will be 40 divided by, there'll be four Wheelman guys in each heat. So you'll randomly draw out of a Wheelman bucket heat 1, heat 1, heat 1, heat 1. That's your heat 1 for Wheelman guys. And you do that all through your 10 teams, and then you draw out of your secondary bucket with the guys who just qualified the night before, and then draw them in to those heats. So then it would look like you have 6 guys who ran the night before, and you have 4 Wheelman. And those 4 Wheelman are coming from different areas of the country. So it's not like it's going to be a team of 4 coming in on the 6 guys that are beat up. And you could definitely see one guy in Wheelman who qualifies. Now he wants 3 of his buddies to try to get a spot for Gold Rush, just in case they do end up making the same heat, that they can help him out, type deal.
And we have Wheelman, and we're going to go through the events, but we got a Wheelman in 11 different states this year. So those 11 states will be represented, obviously, plus everybody who drove there. The guys who all qualified down in Florida aren't all from Florida, right? So they're going to have states represented from all over the country. So the odds of them drawing in with all of their buddies is going to be pretty stinking tough, and just luck of the draw.
Correct.
That's one of the coolest things about this Wheelman this year is you literally have a show in Florida and one in Yuba City, California? Am I right about that? I mean, that's nationwide right there. That's as far as you can go one way and as far as you can go the other way. And that's one of the cool things. And I mean, obviously it wasn't quite that way its first year, but just getting developed into a thing that is just, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be really amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be awesome. So, Chris, let's say Madison goes well. Do you think we can hold the same 50,000 to win for Gold Rush?
Easily, yeah, I do. I think we could. I think we could hold that same number if Madison goes well. Not talking money wise, but just like drama wise. When you have a number like that, emotions get high, everything gets high. If everything plays out good that way, where it's not too big of a jump and not almost too much money, I think that's a perfect number, and I would like to see us pay deeper. Wise.
Our goal, can't say we're guaranteeing it yet, but our goal is to pay everybody who makes it into that feature between $3,000 and $5,000, correct?
Correct. So if you Wheelman guys, if you do come, you get your $500 from your promoter to help travel expenses. We know it's not going to cover everything, but $500 helps a lot. So that's going to help that. And if you get out of your first heat, you're looking at a $3,000 to a $5,000 paycheck just to get out of a 10 car heat, and all you got to do is get top three. That for $3,000, I don't know if that. I don't know if there's easier money in the country
Yeah.
than that right there, and that would be insane. 20 guys getting $3,000 plus the top guys are getting 50 to 25. I think this is where the sport is making a huge a leap, and I think your national guys in motorsports, when you're like, yeah, all 20 guys are making $3,000 and your top guys making 50,000, it might attract some eyes.
Yep. We might actually get some of those goals we've been working on for seems like 100 years anymore, ever since you were young, and going from there. So let's talk a little bit about the events involved. So Chris, you kind of put out a poll, or not a poll, but you made everybody fill out a form this year and said, hey, if you want involved, I want to hear a little bit from you. And you made everybody invest, even some of them that said, hey, Sam, I'm good, right? I'm in. I don't need to fill out that dumb form. You still made them fill out the form, right?
Yeah, everyone who got in filled out the form, no matter who
Even
it
Bill
was.
Miller? Did Bill Miller have to fill out the form?
He did. Bill
Okay,
Bill
I just
Bill
want to make
filled her
sure
out.
Bill Miller filled out the form.
Yeah.
He might have been one that texted me and said, Sam, come on, do I really have to fill out the form? I said, Bill, yes, you're not even guaranteed in. Yes, you have to fill out the form.
And I think that was nice. It was I don't know, between probably 10 and 15 questions. There are some short answer questions, just about like why, like what this means to their show, and why they want to be a part of it. And it was awesome. And man, if I could have taken every single entry, I would have. I know there was people um, really wanting to get in. I've had several messages and phone calls after we picked and said, "Hey, man, like I'm not." I'm not mad that you didn't pick us, but like, what would you like to see from us to get better to get into this thing? Like what? And I'm like that. I mean, for somebody to pick up the phone and do that, I think really speaks volume to how big this and to that individual in that promotion company wanting, like you can tell, like they are wanting Demolition Derby to get bigger. And that's really cool to see. So like, I wish I could have taken every single person on that list. And hopefully in the future we can keep getting more and more. We kind of went out on a limb this year and decided to take back some qualifiers at some shows, like even our own shows. We're taking back some of our qualifiers, like instead of 1, 2, 3 in Mad Dog, it's 1, 2 in Mad Dog, just to
Yep.
try to get more shows involved. And we're doing that in our own shows, not just everybody else's shows. So we tried to take
Yep.
about a little less qualifiers out of each shows to get more shows available. And when you bring more heads together, hopefully more ideas come.
Well, and again, I may not have all the dates exactly right, but let's go through this. So we got Iron City Southern Nationals happened last weekend down in Florida, and I got a picture here of Mr. Levi and his crew. So he won the Florida event, and shout out to, I believe Brandon Myers might have built the car, and if Levi, if he didn't, I apologize, but I believe that's who built the car. But heck of a run! Wow, what a patient driver, and what a great driver! Heck of a run. So we already have Iron City done, Chris. So Siopas have been a big supporter. We've had them in their first year. They did not have an event in their second year. Come back in their third year. So again, excited to have a Florida event there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think Brandon built a different car, if I'm not
Did he?
wrong.
Oh,
Yeah,
I apologize if he didn't build your
I'm
car. You
pretty
can.
sure Levi was in a wagon. Um, and I'm pretty sure Brandon built a Vic, but not 100% sure.
All right. Well, if I'm wrong, Levi, just throw me some hate mail and let me know that I'm an idiot. I apologize, brother. So that was an awesome event, and what a cool way to kick us off. I mean, look at the dirt they're standing on. Again, shout out to Mr. DeFlorian for turning sand into clay down there and doing a good job. Winter Slam will be your second event of the year. So Winter Slam up in Minnesota.
I think Madison's
It,
before that, ain't it?
is Madison before that? Okay,
I think so.
Madison's before that
Yeah.
on March 19th. Winter Slam, I don't have their dates in front of me. But
I
Winter
believe
Slam will
it's
be
a
up.
week or two after Madison.
Okay, yeah, because they're
Don't,
using some of our truck stuff.
yep. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's a week or two after us. Last week of March, I think.
Then you've got Spring Extreme by the Williams Enterprises out in Yuba City, California. One of the best events on the West Coast. Those guys put on a great event out there. Um, Chris, what made you choose a California event all the way on the West Coast? Do you think the guys will travel this far?
I do. And man, these guys were very persuasive, just like always messaging me how can we get in, what do we need to do to keep expanding our shows, how do we get better. They nominated some youth guys out of California to go to Pennsylvania, and they traveled all the way to Pennsylvania, so I do think they'll come. And those California boys, they don't mess around out there.
No, they bring clean old iron and they
Yes.
will come to party.
Yes, sir.
Then we got Midwest Massacre down in Illinois. Then you have Iron Invasion in Michigan. So you got Jared Blades' company up there at Loudmouth. I think it's Loudmouth Promotions, Loudmouth Inc., something like that. I think they call themselves up there. So Jared is so excited to come on and talk about his event. We'll have him on here in a couple of weeks. So I think that's going to be a really good event in Upper Michigan, and it gets into that world that we've never been up there in Michigan, Chris.
Yeah, no, that should be a good one. Getting that northern part of Michigan, Ohio, kind of those parts, Wisconsin, Illinois, kind of all the northern states. So yeah, we haven't had a show in Michigan, so that should be a really good one.
You got Southern Illinois Showdown with Top Notch. Bill Miller's Derby down there. He had 300 plus cars last year. Good Derby. I think that will be the really cool thing is we're not that far away in Pecatonica or Metal Mayhem, but we don't get the Kentucky drivers. We don't get any of those drivers. Southern Illinois will get the Kentucky drivers.
Yeah, it's a whole different clientele of drivers. So, and they're good drivers. They are drivers. So that will be a good show to be added.
Yep. Yep. Monona County Fair in Iowa. I'll put Northwest Iowa drivers up against anybody in the country. I love getting the drivers out of there. And that show last year, I mean, when it came down to Muse and Johnson and Turner, and I mean, you had Demel in there. And I mean, that battle at the end of that thing last year in Monona County was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of those guys travel 10 hours um, for a county fair, and I think that's another thing that speaks volume is the wheelman is just people are traveling to kind of chase these things, and yeah, to have those final four in Ottawa, Iowa, a town of 2,000, the local fans didn't even know what they were experiencing, but you have the some of the best drivers in the country battling it right in front of their eyes.
I remember when Josh Turner at the end of that event said, "Man, I burned a motor down for this thing." And I mean, obviously he couldn't make it to the Wheelman, but I mean, just the amount of desire to get there and qualify was awesome. Then we get to go out to Wasatch County Fair. You and I do a little bit of teching out there. WeCrash is doing the pay per view out there this year. What do you think of them going to a team show? I think it's going to be absolutely nuts.
That's a big track for 8 cars. So, and as we all know, it's a heads up derby, kind of like the Gold Rush format where you got to win the person in front of you. It's 1-on-1 all the way to the finals. So there is going to be the rules they're stout.
Yep.
It's a heavy build, but there's going to be junk by the end of it. It's going to be a gnarly derby.
And if you haven't run a destructive behavior derby, you haven't run a derby. I'm telling you what, I'd put them up against any national promoter in the country. Those boys put on one heck of a show. They take care of their drivers. I mean, Joshua, you're coming out there this year, right? I mean, we've talked you into this, right?
Yeah, I already told
Okay.
my I have the week off.
All right, because I'm telling you what, between that one and UTC, it's a good week. We're gonna have a lot of fun that week. All right, then Chris, we go out to Boulder County Fair out in Colorado. So this one will be different for us. Boulder County is a derby I ran in for a long time. You helped me build a Cordoba for this show, and we took a Cordoba out there to Boulder County 100 years ago. You remember that Cordoba we built for that show?
I do. Was that the same show?
That was the same show. That's Boulder County. Yep. That's when we put Matt Wangro, big shout out to Matt Wangro, when we put him up on the wall and he flipped me off the whole rest of the derby. It was great. He just sat there on the wall flipping me off. And every time I drove by, I just gave him a little high, just gave him a little wave on the way by.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that should be a good that should be a good derby as well. There'll be a lot of your Colorado, Western Nebraska, Wyoming, kind of that population. And they're top notch builders and drivers out there. So,
Think we can get a Scott Mannering out of that show?
man, that'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome. I'd take a Mannering, Wangro, and I mean, it would be a heck of a. There's some great drivers out there that we battled with for years.
You got Boyer's out there.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a good deal. It'll be a lot of fun, and obviously you got all the Frank boys out there. You got a lot of great drivers out there. Steinbeck's love running out there. It could be just a fun deal. Steinbeck sure turned it up at the Wheelman this year in Gold Rush. That was a good time.
Yes, they did.
Never seen anybody put out their own fire before, but seeing him jump out of the car and put out his own fire, I was like, what in the hell is going on here? But it was pretty awesome. Brady Larson show. Chris, talk to us a little bit about Brady Larson. You went up there last year, got a little wild in the duo car, and what was your thought process between? I mean, add North Dakota is awesome. So you got the Brady Larson show.
Yeah, I mean, the North Dakota, first of all, is a great demolition derby state. So that needed a show up there, and I think just with Brady's legacy and the amount of guys that came out to support it last year, was great. It was a great family vibe at the show. Everyone was very, very great to get along with. It was just a really good show overall. And I really think Zach and Tanner are putting a lot of their hearts into that show to grow it as big as possible. So yeah, we're really excited to have that one be a part of it.
And everybody drove with their heart on their sleeve. That's what I loved about that show. When we went up there and watched it, I said, watch every driver's driving with emotion. And that's what I thought was so cool about that. It's pretty cool though when you look down the list. I have a list of all the promoters with all these different events, and on that one there, I just have family and friends. That's the promoter, family and friends.
And that's what it was. I mean, everyone who was close to Brady came together and put on one hell of a derby, and I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as the years go on. So.
I agree with you completely. It was funny. I was talking to Cactus a little bit, and he's like, "Man, you need to get back in a derby car." And I said, "If there was one I'd love to go run, it's going to be the Brady Larson show. I think that is one I would like to run sometime before I'm done running, and it's a pretty awesome show." Then we'll finish up the season with Metal Mayhem, as always, with Derby Icons. I mean, they're one of the best in the business. I mean, Derby Icons kicks out some awesome drivers, kicks out some great stuff, and their drivers are always in the end of Wheelman.
Yes, sir.
So we've got Florida, Minnesota, Wisconsin, California, Illinois, Michigan, Iowa, Utah, Colorado, Missouri, and North Dakota. 11 different states represented in the shows I'm going to hope that we get over 30 states represented in the drivers. Josh, what's your guess? How many drivers we're gonna have, how many states we're going to have represented this year?
I would say it's probably going to be dang similar to that. I mean, I'm more excited to see what the Wheelman versus the, you say you put 4 Wheelman in a heat with 10 car total, 6 that didn't make the Wheelman. I'm kind of see if they collectively get together and say, let's all go, or if there'll be some clicks that form and a couple Wheelman and then maybe 1 or 2 of the other. I mean, I'm very intrigued by that aspect of it.
Yeah.
then you throw in the factor that your one shows in California, the other one's in Florida. I mean, half these people probably don't know them, don't know the guy that's on the list with them. I wouldn't assume there's a whole lot of guys traveling from California to Florida to Derby. I don't know though, but that'll be interesting, that aspect of it. And then the other side of it is it's interesting to see their builds. Just the different where they come from versus where. When they all meet in the middle, what their kind of style is versus where some style of the Midwest or the style of the East Coast, or it's that part to me is very interesting.
So every one of our, as you can see in Levi's picture, every one of our qualifiers will get this plaque. These plaques have done up. It's something that Chris and Nicole take care of every year. Chris picks the teams, he lays them out and how he wants them to go, and Nicole makes sure it happens. As you can see, not only did they get the Iron City belt, but they got the plaque right there as well. And it means a ton for us to be able to do these. And Van Way Trophies takes care of us every year, and they are taking care of us again this year. So, man, Chris, what else are we missing on the wheel, man? We got a couple minutes here left, big guy. What else do you want to say about the Wheelman and the passion and the work you've put into it? What can you do if a guy's on the fence? I don't know whether I want to chase this or not. What would you say to him?
The first thing I would say is, or I guess the first and only thing I'd say is, like, why do you do demolition derby? Like, what's the reason behind it? And most people are going to say pride, the family aspect, and that's what Wheelman incorporates, is everything in that. The guys who are coming to Wheelman aren't there for the money. They're there to say they're the best of the best, and that's it. And if I don't know if you can call yourself the best of the best unless you beat the best of the best on the same track, um,
Yep.
to the same rules. Everyone's on the same playing field. Um, until you do that, I don't know if you can truly say you're the best of the best. Like, I mean, just to put it in perspective, like Eric Blom the first year, he donated um, a big part of his check to the Brady's family after winning it. He wasn't there for the money. He was there to um,
It's for the
help.
bragging
And
right.
yeah, it's for the bragging rights. It's to I was the best of the best that year, and nobody can tell me different.
And no one will ever take his name off that trophy. Every trophy that gets given out has the past winners on it. So
Correct.
their name of the winner and the year they won in, no one will ever take off Eric and Ralph's name off that trophy. That year they were the best in the country.
Correct. And I mean that's just the thing. There is what I'd say is, I mean, go give it a shot until you don't know until you go down there and try. I mean, there's one show I would love to run, and that's that one. And unfortunately I can't, and it sucks. Um,
No, no.
but
I'll pack the cars for you, Chris. Then you just go run it.
yeah, I would love to. If you told me that right now, I'd drop Techie in an instant, and
Probably sell
I'd
you his
say,
ownership, Josh.
yeah, I would say, where's the first wheelman qualifier I can hit? And I'd work all summer trying to qualify, and then try to build the baddest ride I could, and go down there and tangle with some of the best.
That's awesome.
In my opinion, that's one of the coolest things about that is you see those guys travel from show to show. They had a little bad luck at one show, so they're not calling it quits. We're going to the next state, and heck, some of them guys were running I would say every bit of 8 hours just to go to a show that's, Missouri or Iowa or wherever else. That's not near them. They just went because they want in this so bad that they can taste it, and a few of them got it, and that's amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, you go down and a prime example of that is we had a qualifier down in Missouri, and it's you're kind of in Hewers, Caddy Nation, stomping grounds, and they all rolled in, and then they were seven deep. Nine cars ended up coming, and Ralph Lee just traveled 10 hours from Wisconsin to try to qualify, and then Sean Verana came down from Nebraska to try to qualify, and they both were like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a long night ahead of us." But they knew what they were getting themselves into, and they still traveled that far just to try to get a chance to get in. So that right there speaks volumes too, of just how big this thing is and how big it can get. Um,
Yeah.
and that's the biggest thing is like if anybody, I don't care if you're a driver, spectator, if you have any great ideas on how to get this to the next level or bigger or better, something better for the drivers, this is purely for the drivers, um, and it's been that way since I've created it. Like I said, I created it looking at it as a driver. That's why we kind of no entry fee, give them $500. I'd love to see some sponsorships get involved to where that $500 number comes up a little higher to 1,000, where we really do take care of travel completely and just go out there and battle and see who's the best of the best that night.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, we thank you for coming on. I heard that you're running down at Capital City Carnage. You got you and the three Moolmans. Any predictions on that? Going down to just let the old Buick run out, or what's your thoughts there, big guy?
Oh, we'll see if it's a Buick. We don't know what's going to show up there yet.
Might be a Buick. It might be a Ford. I mean, if you're running with
Yeah,
Moolmans, you got to run
yeah,
a Ford, don't you?
yeah. I have to go to up to Minnesota and pick up my Joey built Ford. So,
Joe, that's not a bad
but
bill
no,
Ford.
it's an honor just to it's an honor just to get asked by those guys. They're some of the best in the country, and I go way back with them. They actually built my first derby car ever, and ended up winning in it. So we kind of go way back. So that's gonna be a lot of fun to go out there and run and kind of see where we're at and have some fun. But no, the car's coming together good. I got body on, cage completely done today. So we're actually after this call gonna go put the Weldon helmet on for couple more hours and keep burning wire.
Isn't there like a youth driver in the house somewhere that should be burning wire for you right now? I mean,
You would
isn't there
think,
like a
you would think, you would think I could get a guy to hold. Yeah, I did get him out in the shop 2 days ago to hold body bolts.
oh, nice.
I got the first couple body bolts in by myself, and I said, you know what, screw this. Where's Tyler? And I had to drag him off his PC playing whatever derby game that's is on the PC, and dragged him off that to come hold a wrench and get body bolts in. But we sucked the body down and got her all bolted down finally.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, thanks for coming on, buddy. We will see you at Madison in about 4 or 5 weeks.
Sounds good.
All right. Joshua, what do you think of the Wheelman, dude? I think it's gonna be fun.
I can't wait to see how that shakes out. I'm very intrigued by that 6 on, 6 of the normal guys, 4 of the Wheelman. Whatever the scenario breaks down to there, that's interesting to me. I can't wait to see how that plays out.
Dude, I tell you, we spent so much time.
Especially if you get, the odds of you're gonna come there with what 3-4 out of each show. The odds of getting your 4 into one heat, and then what's the thing that says you don't get into a heat? Then you actually know somebody in that other heat. Are you going to work with a guy who wasn't Wheelman versus
Right.
against the guys that are Wheelman? Are you gonna? I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued, and that's that nonstop action that happens in Rapid City right there, boys. That's what
I tell
that
you
is.
what, and it's going to be a fun family event. If you're looking for a vacation, I'm telling you, Rapid City is going to be where it's at. It is going to be an event like you've never seen before, money like you've never seen before. Everybody says, "Oh, we're paying $100,000." Yeah, you're splitting it 4 ways. We're paying $50,000 for one, $25,000 for second, $25,000 Mad Dog, $3,000 at least to make the feature. I'm pushing for $5,000 to make the feature, and I'm telling you, it is going to be money driving like you've never seen before. I'm telling you, the Wheelman you will not forget.
I'm interested to see how many boys come out of like Utah, Wyoming. We've seen the teams come out of there. How many of those guys are going to come out single wise? And that'll be interesting too. I mean, I imagine we'll see a lot of them. I really do.
I agree. And they're going to start sneaking in. You take a look at Zach Johnson's now been in the top 4 of the Wheelman both years. All of these guys are just sneaking in and just getting up just a little bit further, doing their thing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm very intrigued to see how much drama we have in Madison with that kind of money on the line. When you put life-changing money on the line at 50, $50,000, that's a lot of money. And you put that kind of money on the line, it definitely brings out the best and worst in people. So
yeah, it does.
Man, we'll see. So, Josh, what do you think of being on the podcast this week, brother? We wrapped it up. We made it right in an hour. We rolling right?
It was all right. It was all right. I'm glad I had decent internet the whole time.
Yeah, you did good, buddy.
I caught myself
the truck is nice.
And now I had to hey, quit that. But no, it was a good time. It was a good time. Anytime I get to shoot the bull with my friends, I'm pretty excited about it. So
that's awesome, buddy. Well, be safe, man. We're gonna wrap up this episode, and there you go. There's everything you ever wanted to know about the Wheelman. It's gonna be a hell of a year this year. We'll see you in Madison in a few weeks, brother.
Yep. And remember, vendors, if you want anything to do or anything with Madison, just give me a shout. Sponsor-wise, same story. Just give me a shout. Shoot me an email, josh@ultimatederby.com or 402-992-2223. And we're still working on the big list, and we've got a lot of cool names going to be on that list for vendors this year. So at Madison, so that'll be really unique. There's a couple of them that I think people are going to be shocked when we pulled them from where they usually build parts, and they're in Wisconsin. So that'll be cool. Yeah. So
you're doing good, buddy. We will see you in a few weeks, brother.
All right, man. See you after a while.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.